Have you ever caught yourself thinking, why did I let that person or situation get under my skin? It's something we've all been through. But what if I told you the real reason for your anger isn't in what upsets you, but in how you choose to react? It sounds challenging, right? But according to Sadhguru, mastering your emotions is the key to mastering life. Think about it. What could you accomplish if no one had the power to mess with your inner peace? It's time to flip the script and uncover a surprisingly simple way to keep your cool no matter what. Sadhguru often emphasizes something we tend to overlook. Our emotions belong to us. So why hand them over on a silver platter to people who annoy or disappoint us? He explains this with a simple analogy. Imagine if your happiness depended on the weather. On a rainy day, you'd be doomed to a bad mood. In the same way, when we let others or external situations control our emotional state, we become prisoners of something we should be in charge of. The idea is straightforward. Joy or sadness should be choices, not automatic reactions. He also challenges the old excuse, I can't help it. That's just how I feel, really. Let's test that. Think of someone who made you lose your patience, maybe a coworker who cut you off during a meeting. Now imagine that, in the middle of your frustration, you get a call offering you your dream job. Like magic, your anger would vanish, wouldn't it? This shows that emotions aren't set in stone, they're responses we can tweak if we stay aware. Here's the practice. The next time something gets on your nerves, take a deep breath and ask yourself, does this really deserve my emotional energy? Here's the cool part. When you learn to control your emotions, you're not just stopping negative reactions, you're creating positive outcomes. It's not about being cold or indifferent. It's about being the captain of your own ship. If anger is a storm and sadness is a wave, you're the one steering. The best part, you can start practicing right now. Next time something upsets you, try writing down why it bothered you so much. It might sound simple, but the clarity it brings is amazing. After all, understanding is the first step to mastery, and mastery is the foundation of everything. Anger is often glorified as something noble, especially when it's tied to a cause. But Sadhguru challenges that idea. He reminds us that while anger might feel like a powerful fuel, it's like driving a car at full speed without control. Think about it. Have you ever been so angry about an injustice that you ended up saying or doing something you regretted? Anger burns hot, but rarely lasts. Love, on the other hand, is a steady flame that not only warms but also lights the way. The idea of replacing anger with love might feel counterintuitive, but imagine this. Instead of yelling at someone for their mistake, what if you guided them with patience and firmness? Think about a mentor who had a positive impact on your life. They probably didn't achieve that by shouting or losing their temper, right? Love isn't weakness, it's strategy. Next time you feel anger bubbling up, take a moment to pause and reflect. Ask yourself, how can love resolve this more effectively than my anger? Here's the thing. When you act with love instead of anger, people actually pay more attention to you. Who really listens to someone yelling? But who wouldn't want to learn from someone speaking with wisdom and compassion? That's real power. Anger might force doors open, but love builds bridges, and building bridges is far more powerful when it comes to transforming not just your life, but the world around you. You can start small today. That silly argument you had? Swap the heated reaction for an honest conversation and see the difference it makes. Sadhguru challenges us with a truth few want to admit. The world we live in reflects how we act, think, and feel. It's easy to point fingers at governments, corporations, or even higher powers and complain about how things are. But what if each of us took responsibility to make a difference? Imagine, instead of waiting for global changes, starting with simple actions, recycling, helping a neighbor, or just truly listening to someone. It might seem small, but it's a powerful first step. He pushes us to think about the ripple effect of our daily choices. Every decision, from how we treat others to what we consume, shapes the world around us. Think about it. Choosing to support a local farmer over a big chain store feeds a more human economy. Teaching your kids strong values plants seeds for a fairer future. It's not about changing the world on your own, but realizing that even the smallest contribution matters. Here's the part most people miss. Personal responsibility doesn't mean carrying the weight of the world. It's about being aware that your actions have consequences. Acting with intention creates a domino effect. Your small gesture inspires someone else, who inspires another, and so on. That's how revolutions begin. So, instead of waiting for the world to change, ask yourself, what can I do right now to make it better? Start small but stay consistent, because small acts lead to big changes. Sadhguru also pushes us to question something we rarely consider. Could our understanding of the universe be limited by our own imagination? He points out how humanity, throughout history, has created divine figures that conveniently look and act like us. Makes sense, right? We create gods who love, get angry, and judge because it's easier to project what we know than to explore the unknown. But does that limit how we see something as vast as creation? This limitation shows up in the way we seek answers. We often explain the unexplainable with stories that fit within our understanding, like trying to shrink the universe into a user manual. Imagine explaining the internet to someone from the 18th century. It'd be impossible without using limited metaphors, like comparing data clouds to magical letters. Similarly, our attempts to explain the cosmos often rely on assumptions shaped by our limited perspective. This is where Sadhguru invites us to expand our awareness. Instead of projecting our limitations onto creation, we should embrace the mystery. This doesn't mean abandoning our beliefs, but seeing them as a starting point, not the final destination. Try this mental exercise. Next time you look at a starry sky, instead of naming constellations, imagine what lies beyond what you can see. This practice of questioning opens doors to deeper, more inspiring understanding. Sadhguru describes the mind in a way that's both simple and transformative. It only knows how to add and multiply. This means that when you cling to negative thoughts, they tend to grow like a snowball rolling downhill. Ever notice how a tiny worry can, in just a few minutes, turn into an avalanche of anxiety? Understanding this mechanism is the first step to taking control. After all, if you can add and multiply the good things in life, why keep focusing on what drags you down? A practical example of this is the power of positive affirmations. Imagine starting your day by telling yourself, "Today, I'm going to find something to be grateful for." That simple thought can multiply your chances of noticing good things throughout the day, because your mind is wired to look for what you focus on. On the flip side, negative thoughts act like a reverse magnifying glass. They blow tiny things out of proportion. Want to try an exercise? Whenever a negative thought pops up, write it down and then jot down a solution or a positive perspective. This simple habit can break the cycle. But the real key here is awareness. Sadhguru reminds us that the mind is a tool, and tools only work well when handled by someone who knows how to use them. Just like a skilled chef wouldn't let their knife rust, you shouldn't let your mind go untended. This might mean meditating, journaling, or even spending a few minutes daily to organize your thoughts. Think about it. You wouldn't let your home stay messy for too long, right? So why let your mind get cluttered? By taking charge, you prepare yourself to create instead of just react. Now that you've got these powerful insights from Sadhguru, the real question is, what will you do with them? How would your life change if you could turn every moment of frustration into an opportunity to grow? Start small next time your patience is tested. Take a deep breath and remind yourself that you're in control. Your happiness is in your hands, not anyone else's. Ready to take the next step and master your emotions for good? Drop a comment sharing how you currently handle your emotions and what you're planning to change. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Hit the notifications button and keep joining us on this journey of growth. There's so much more to come, and every video could be the one to transform your life.